So a few days ago I started receiving these brilliant comments to a response video I did to the Messianic Manic.
You are clearly retarded. You are stupid and his arguments were on point. You probably don't even understand what the fuck half that shit means, and don't try to act smart, cause you are not. Get wrecked, kid.
Yes, it seems TMM has at long last responded to my video about him, and his brain-case minions had been dispatched to alert me of this event. Now, of course, we all know that atheists would never lend their support to a poorly reasoned argument, simply because it supports their own prejudices, so let's check his video out. TMM, nay, the Messianic Maniac, isn't even trying anymore.
It's actually Messianic Manic, not Maniac, but I like that you use the term nay. That makes it sound like it was my maiden name. I can't make any sense.
Okay, it gets a little confusing here, folks, but the video I'm responding to consists of white text on an indigo-ish background, and the video I responded to that he's responding to consisted of white text on a violetish background. But yes, white text on a purplish background is kind of his thing nowadays, which is welcome relief to those of us who found the relentless variety of his earlier videos wearying.
I can't make any sense of something existing independent of time and space.
That's it? That's your argument?
No, I didn't make an argument. I simply explained why I don't find the Kalam argument convincing. I'm not trying to convince anyone that there is no God. I wasn't trying to convince anyone of anything in that video.
You can't make sense of it? Hey, I'll take you at your word, but it's hardly a counter-argument.
It's not intended to be.
Now, we don't need to delve into the contingency argument. We don't need to explain why things that are contingent or composite, like time or space, need to be grounded in something that is timeless and spaceless. It's not even a matter of philosophical speculation. We can name off the tops of our heads things that exist independently of time or space. Things like the laws of logic or mathematical proofs.
Those are ideas.
No, if logic and mathematical proofs were merely ideas, they wouldn't have any objective demonstrative value at all. Now, these are things I can apprehend with ideas, just as I can apprehend an apple with ideas. But just as an apple isn't the same thing as my idea of an apple, logic and mathematical proofs aren't the same things as my ideas of them. Unless you grant the existence of an objective exoteric logic that exists whether or not a person believes it, you're kicking the legs out from underneath the very possibility of rational debate.
How the fuck do ideas exist independent of time or space?
Because Euler's identity was true in the Precambrian era, it'll be true in the heat death of the universe, and it's true in Alpha Centauri, and it's true in fucking Shreveport, Louisiana. It'll be true even if there was no universe in the first place. In fact, unless logic and mathematics existed independently of time and space, physics would have no ability to model the universe at all.
I don't understand what an idea is if it is not an activity carried out by the brain. And how the fuck can an activity occur without time?
Great, you don't understand. That really doesn't prove anything at all. Now, I'll grant that an idea can be an activity of the mind, and that this activity of the mind can be an emergent property of a physical system like a brain. But it's incorrect in any case to say that a mental activity is a physical process, and it's besides the point anyway, since logic and mathematical proofs aren't just ideas, as we've already established.
Perhaps this guy believes that the laws of logic are some kind of Platonic form, but I've never understood what it even means to say that Platonic forms exist.
That's it, folks. Atheism is just completely brain dead. They say they don't understand shit, and that's their entire argument. This is their rational position. Or the ideas of goodness, or truth, or beauty, or love, or whatever. These are all things that exist, but they exist without a temporal duration or a spatial location.
How are these not brain activities? And how could brain activities occur without temporal duration?
They are entirely not brain activities, but they're the kinds of things a mind might apprehend. But hey, if you want to go find the spatial location of the idea of an apple, or tell me how long it lasts for, by all means be my guest.
And it's a contradiction in terms to say that anything brought the universe into being. To bring something into being is an action, and actions can't occur unless time already exists.
You're half right. An action necessitates the existence of time, but it doesn't necessitate the existence of time previous to the action. A cause is always coincident with its effect, so there's no contradiction to say that something brought time itself into being.
With the exception of material causation, which is not what we're talking about here, causes are never coincident with their effects. There are 4 different kinds of causal interaction. There are the weak and strong nuclear interactions, the
What the fuck? fuck is this shit? This guy's rattling off the 4 fundamental forces and arbitrarily redefining them as 4 kinds of causal interactions? First off, this is a huge category error, since cause is a philosophical category, not a scientific category. This is as egregious a pseudo-philosophical, pseudo-scientific fudge as Lawrence Krauss redefining a quantum vacuum is nothing. Secondly, when we're talking about God being the cause of the universe, obviously God is not a force propagating through a field, because God created forces, and God created fields, and is causally prior to both. Your argument here is just stupid.
There are the weak and strong nuclear interactions, the electromagnetic interaction, and gravity. None of these propagate instantaneously. They all propagate at the finite speed of light. There is always at least some time between the action of one thing and the effect of that action on any other thing.
Even if we accept your premise that the 4 fundamental forces are somehow 4 fundamental causes, your argument still fails. For at least 3 of those fundamental forces, there's an associated carrier particle that propagates through space, so it's the carrier particle that's the proximate cause, and the cause is in every case coincident with its effect. Now there's a hypothesized carrier particle for gravity called the graviton, but even if we don't grant the existence of the graviton, it's still the warped space-time field between 2 particles that's the proximate cause, not the particles themselves. So again, proximate cause is coincident with effect. Also, you said that all these forces propagate at the speed of light. Wrong. The weak nuclear force is mediated by mass particles, so it travels at less than the speed of light, and quantum entanglement is a form of cause and effect that occurs instantaneously across distances, exactly as you said can't happen.
And again, not to belabor the point, but it's all completely fucking irrelevant anyway, since God is not a force propagating through space. So to the Messianic Manic, you fail at philosophy, you fail at science, your entire video was a fail. To everyone else, I hope you enjoyed my video, please like, share, and subscribe.